Okay.
Hello, my name is Dan Fletcher, and I'm with the group presenting on abortion. We know obviously it's a very controversial topic, so first of all, I'd just like to say, if you're having any difficulties watching this or anything, we're not going to make it too graphic or anything, but we do know it's a controversial topic that might rub some people the wrong way. So we just want people to come into this with an open mind and be willing to discuss on the forum and try not to get too heated about it. And then in the forum as well, where we have our discussion questions, please be respectful of other people's opinions and possible life situations. So, first of all, if you guys could just kind of think about where you stand currently on abortion, just kind of with the typical definitions of pro-choice and pro-life. So if you can just kind of think about where you are from a 1 to a 5, just kind of think about, reflect a little bit on your own time. If you want to pause the video, that's great. But just kind of think about where you stand prior to this video and prior to the discussion on abortion. And like I said, abortion is obviously a very controversial topic, and so I thought what might be interesting is just doing a little public opinion poll. And the Gallup poll is kind of the #1 poll in America for public opinion, whether it's presidential elections or gun control or basically all sorts of public opinion issues. So they also have an abortion section. And so the most recent results from the Gallup poll say that 52% believe abortion should be legal under certain circumstances, 28% say it should be legal under any circumstances, and then 18% say it should be illegal under any circumstances. And so also there's a lot of data showing that, if you could click on that one, that there is a lot of common ground in the abortion debate. So like I was saying, it's very controversial and will get very heated. But if you look at what people agree on, there's actually quite a bit that people can say, yes, I agree about this stuff. So 97% of pro-choice and 69% of pro-life people say that abortion should be legal when a woman's life is in danger. Also, the majority of Americans on both sides of the issue agree that abortion should be legal when the woman's physical health is endangered, when pregnancy is caused by rape or incest, and they also agree that consent for abortion patients should be required from both parties, like both the male and female. The majority of Americans believe that abortion should be illegal in the 3rd trimester. And if you want to, you can go ahead and read the rest of these stats. But I just think it's an interesting thing to look at between, it just seems that when we come to abortion, it seems like there's 2 very hard stances. And if you look at, people can agree on a lot. And so there's also, some more stuff along with the common ground, that 87% of people favor that there should be a law requiring doctors to inform patients about certain possible risks. And so this is just another thing that you can go ahead and look at if you're interested. The one thing I hadn't heard of in abortion discussion before was making women get an ultrasound of the fetus 24 hours before they have an abortion. So that was just something I had never heard of before, and that would obviously be very traumatic for a woman who's planning to get an abortion, but that's also something that this was raised, the Gallup poll raised in that aspect. And so now we're going to go more into the Ignatian method of laying out pros and cons kind of in a spiritual sense for abortion, because we're going through Farrington and looking at the different, the pros and cons of each choice. And so the pro-life side, pro-life generally means that life shouldn't progress from the moment of conception until the person's natural death.
Now we'll watch a video on what it means to be pro-life.
Pro-life, what is it? Is it merely to believe that every human being, every single human being has dignity and an incalculable value? What does it mean to really be pro-life? Is it a state of mind? Is it merely being brought to tears at the thought of an innocent child being disposed of like damaged property? What does it mean to be pro-life? Is it a commitment to activism? Is it really going outside an abortionist's office, praying, and providing counseling to young women? What does it mean to be pro-life? Is it a political question? Is it merely voting for the right candidate, picking the right judge, voting for the right party? Is it a religious question? Is it really going to church, worshiping the Lord, praying for aid and comfort for the needy? Is it a moral question? Is it merely to do what is right, to do what is written on our hearts and do it now? Is it a scientific question? Is it only about our understanding of human physiology, facts, and figures? What does it mean to be pro-life? Truly pro-life. To be pro-life means all of these things, and more. To be pro-life is not to give up, not lower our standards, and not settle for the protection of just some. Not be afraid of defeat, of the future, of death. To be pro-life means to live for others, and get off the couch right now to bring the church to the streets, bring the streets to the polling place, and bring healing to our world. What does it mean to be pro-life today? Might be some that up for you in just one word.
And then, according to the Catholic social teaching, every person from the moment of conception until natural death has inherent dignity which comes from God, not from any human quality or accomplishment.
All right, my name's Katie. I'm going to continue to talk about pro-life. So life begins life begins at conception. Therefore, abortion is killing of a human being. So that's what pro-life kind of draws to their definition. Some people consider themselves pro-life even if they agree that are instances where abortion is okay, such as rape, incest, or if the mother's life is in danger. So also note that the sixth commandment is thou shalt not kill, and that's in Exodus. So just a side note, usually around 9 to 12 weeks, mother will find out that they're pregnant, or it could be earlier or later, but at 9 to 12 weeks, the baby will get their heartbeat. So a lot of pro-life believes that's killing if someone has a heartbeat, because if you think about it, how do we declare someone to be dead at any stage of their life? As if their heartbeat was no longer present. So anyways, so the pro-life stance believes that abortion is killing of another human being, either when they had a heartbeat or the potential to have a heartbeat. So the 2008 Republican Party platform opposed abortion, stating its core, abortion is a fundamental assault on the sanctity of an innocent human life. Women deserve better than abortion. Every effort should be made to work with women considering abortion to enable and empower to choose life. However, about 30% of Republicans are pro-choice. So that's from the Republican Party. And just some supporters of pro-life other than the Republican Party, which generally they are, not all, but some. The Catholic Church, which we have discussed in Farrington and Evans, has been discussed quite a bit. And the NRLC, which is the National Right to Life. And I did not hear this organization, so I looked it up. And it's an organization who have been trying to defend life of any aspect of in the womb to death for the past 45 years. And they've done this in multiple ways, some of which they had about 2,000 people gathered in March at the Capitol, and just to gain awareness and to call for greater protections for unborn babies and their mothers. So the NRLC helped this organization to help this come about. So another way of doing it that I thought was very interesting is there's another. It's called Autos for Life. So the NRLC will sell home your donated cards, which you will donate them to NLC, and then they'll use this money to help and support any organizations that they will support, and they will use this money to help spread awareness. So I thought that was very interesting.
And then we have a quote from the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, and it states, "Abortion, the direct killing of an innocent human being, is always gravely immoral. Its victims are the most vulnerable and defenseless members of a human family. It is imperative that those who are called to serve the least among us give urgent attention and priority to this issue of justice. While at times human law may not fully articulate the moral imperative full protection for the right to life, our legal system can and must be continually reformed so that it will increasingly fulfill its proper task of protecting the weak and preserving the right to life of every human being, born and unborn."
So to start off with the pro-choice side, I will start with a video.
The 7,461 state legislators also please the
I think it was right in 1973, and I think it was right today.
unless women can control our own bodies, we are unequal.
No government owns the bend in this spine.
I believe in freedom.
First,
Privacy and choice for everybody.
I want to congratulate NARAL for calling choice what it is, a fundamental American value and freedom.
about the right to control your own reproductive health and destiny.
This one seller of hopes they call a body fully yours.
We can and should do more to prevent unintended pregnancy.
I honor my galaxy of skin, drumbeat, and bone,
The reproductive rights movement is not just about abortion anymore.
and I honor yours.
It's about women's health.
Skin is not a political currency to be pushed around like cattle herds or poker chips.
NARAL pro-choice America. That's it.
We represent the mainstream of America.
They know how to talk about it.
I am
Pro-choice America.
NARAL's position is the only one that will give us a future we can all share.
Protecting children, protecting women, protecting families.
We simply will not permit our freedom to be taken away.
You, Queen, have the right to know. To slow if you so choose.
We will fight through, we will fight our right to privacy.
The most anti-choice president in our nation's history. The next president will decide Roe's fate.
Pro-choice, pro-Obama, yes we
I
can!
am somebody who believes that Roe versus Wade was rightly decided.
And voting.
So people on the pro-choice side believe that access to legal, professionally performed abortions reduce injury and death caused by unsafe illegal abortions. Some other people believe it should only be a last resort, while others advocate for unrestricted access. And birthing children is an important lifelong decision that requires responsible consideration, preparation, and planning.
So, Roe versus Wade was a court case in which Roe, who was a woman who was unwed, and she was pregnant and tried to obtain an abortion, but Texas law made it illegal to get an abortion unless the mother's life was in danger. So, Roe, it wasn't her actual name, but that's the name that she took on for the court case, brought the case to court along with another doctor who the state was taking legal action against because he had performed abortions, and then also the Does, who were a childless couple who tried to bring the case to court on just the grounds of it being an unjust law. They ended up getting their case thrown out, but the other two brought it to court, and in a 7-2 vote, the Supreme Court held that the Texas laws were unconstitutional because they violated the woman's constitutional right of privacy. that implicated the liberty guarantee of the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. So this next part, I'm going to kind of talk about the types of abortion. So if that hits a little too close to home or anything, or if you just don't want to hear anything there, it's not super graphic, but if you don't want to hear anything graphic at all, just skip past me. But, okay, so suction, vacuum, curettage, aspiration abortion happens in the first trimester, and it's a surgical abortion. It's done between the 6th and 12th weeks, and what happens is a plastic suctioning tube is inserted into the uterus, and suction is turned on to pull the fetus out. This is the most common form of abortion, and the one that you hear about most. The birth control, there's all sorts of different types of birth control. There's a ring format, there's pills, obviously, there's a little implantation device that can be put into your arm. There's just all sorts of birth control things. There's also a shot. The morning after pills can be either a 1 or 2 pill format, and they must be taken within 5 days of having sex. The D&E, dilation and evacuation abortion, is done in the 2nd trimester, and it includes a combination of the aspiration, like I talked about earlier, dilation and curettage, and the use of surgical instruments such as forceps to pull the baby out, or fetus out. The partial birth abortion, this one is done in the mid to late 2nd trimester, and it is illegal in the U.S. and in most other countries because of the way that it's done. That's one that if you want to look it up, you can, but that was a very graphic one, so I didn't want to talk about that. Selective abortion is when the doctor might recommend an abortion based on genetic abnormalities, or say the baby's going to have, like, there's something called trisomy 18, and when the baby has that, it normally dies within a short time after birth, and so the doctor might suggest an abortion if you know that the baby's going to have that. So then they just use medication to cause the cervix to dilate, and then the physician basically has the mom birth the baby early.
So here are some supporters on the pro-choice side. So the first one is Planned Parenthood, and some other mainstream faith groups like United Methodist Church, United Church of Christ, Presbyterian Church, and also the Democratic Party, like the main supporter. And now I will show you a chart listing some reason for having the abortion. And the most popular one is not ready for another child coming, and it comprises 25%. Some another reason, like can't afford a baby right now, it comprises 23%, and 19% is about complicated my childbearing, other people depending on me to when I go.
So you can further look at this chart and then go on to the Moodle page. If you did not, couldn't hear the videos, we'll see if we can upload those as well if we can get a better chance to do them. And also, look at the discussion questions that we have posted on Moodle. And through this presentation, we wanted to focus on Ignatius's first method of discerning, which is to focus on the reasoning, the pros and cons. So that's what we focus on, and just when you do the discussion questions, reflect on them, take some time, and really put some thought into how you would respond to them. Thank you very much, and this concludes our presentation.